Good evening to all of you. Everyone, please confirm beta. Am I audible? Am I visible clearly to all of you? ऑडियो वीडियो क्लियर है, सभी लोग कंफर्म कर देंगे. प्लीज कंफर्म इन द चैट बॉक्स. एम आई ऑडिबल? एम आई विजिबल क्लियरली टू ऑल ऑफ यू? Everyone do confirm in the chat box. And everyone please do comment so that we can ensure that all the comments are visible. So everybody do comments in the chat box so that we can make sure all the comments are visible from all of you. Yes, how are you all? So I can see the comments from Dadan, Kundan, Ria. How are you all? So I hope you all are good and preparing well for your exams. And I think you are comfortable in English, but little bit Hindi will be fine. Yes or no? So in this batch, all the technical discussion will be in English. All the technical point we are going to cover in English, but meanwhile, we can use Hindi as a filler. It will be fine. Yes or no? बीच बीच में थोड़ा सा हिंदी का डिस्कशन में कंफर्टेबल हो. All the technical discussion will be in English, but we can use some Hindi for the filler. सभी लोग कंफर्टेबल हैं? इज देयर एनी प्रॉब्लम टू एनीवन? अदरवाइज वी कैन कंटिन्यू द इंटायर डिस्कशन इन इंग्लिश. Okay, it's fine. Okay, very good. So, we are going to start our discussion for the surveying. So, in this first introductory lecture, I am not going to cover any technical part, and this is going to be purely, yes, we will have the discussion in English, don't worry. So, this is the first lecture of your subject, and before that, which are the subject that you have already covered in this batch? Please let me know. You must have covered some subject. Himasvi beta, we will have all the technical discussion in English, don't worry. We will have all the technical discussion in English only. Okay, so you all have completed BMC, hydrology, irrigation, SOM, RCC. Very good, very good. You have covered various subjects. BMC is of 2 marks, SOM is of 7 to 8 marks, RCC of 5 to 6 marks, hydrology is of 3 to 4 marks, irrigation is of 1 to 2 marks in your GATE exam. So this is the weightage of your subjects that you have covered. Okay, very good, very good. So, okay, so we are going to start the discussion for the surveying, and let's talk about this subject. This subject will have the weightage in your GATE exam nearly about 4 to 5 marks. Subject is very important. Subject is very basic in nature. Subject is very basic in nature. If I talk about the difficulty level, so I can say in your entire civil engineering, civil engineering syllabus, it is the one of the most basic subject that everyone can understand without any problem. So only basic discussion will be there. If I talk about the weightage of this subject, the weightage is quite high in all the exam. This is the weightage in your GATE exam. But if we talk about some other exam also, because you are preparing for your GATE exam as well as for some other exam also, like ESE, Engineering Services exam, State AE exam and JEE exam. So if in general, if we talk about the weightage, the weightage is quite high. We will have the detailed discussion. We will have the detailed discussion for which exam what will be the weightage of your this subject. Syllabus is quite vast. Syllabus is quite vast. So what we are going to discuss in this introductory lecture, we will have some basic understanding. We will try to develop some basic understanding about the subject itself. Nothing else. From the next lecture onward, we are going to start the technical discussion, chapter-wise discussion. But this is the introductory lecture where we will discuss only the introductory part. We will try to understand why we are going to discuss, why we are going to study this subject. Being a civil engineer, why we should know the subject, why we should know the basic concept of the surveying, that we are going to discuss. I think it will be fine. Before starting any subject, before starting any technical discussion, we should know the objective and the purpose of the subject. Yes or no? And once we are clear with the objective and the purpose of the subject, understanding will be easy. It is going to be very easy for all of you. If you know the objective or the purpose of the subject, then you can easily understand all the concepts because you can relate all the things. So, are you ready for the session? Should we start our discussion? Should we start our introduction of surveying? Tell me something about yourself. Okay, definitely I will tell you. Okay, definitely I will tell you. Whatever is required, definitely I am going to tell you. Rest आपको अपने आप पता चल जाएगा. Rest you will know automatically. Okay, so let's start the discussion. And before starting the session, let me introduce myself for those who are watching me first time. जो लोग भी first time attend कर रहे हैं. So, I am Kshitij Sachan. I have completed my MTech in structures. Currently, I am pursuing my PhD. I have qualified GATE multiple times. But if I talk about my best GATE rank, so I have secured AIR 30. AIR 30 in your GATE exam, and I am having nearly 9+ years teaching experience. I am having 9+ years teaching experience for your GATE and ESE exam. GATE and ESE exam. And if I talk about the subject that I am going to deal with all of you, the subject I am going to deal with you, the subject are going to be transportation engineering, and the next subject that I will cover, that is going to be the surveying. The next subject that I will cover, that will be the surveying. So these are the two subjects that I will cover. In which year? You are talking about this rank. You are talking about this rank. This is in last year. GATE 2022. Before that, in GATE 2021, the rank was 278. In GATE 2021, so usually I appear. If I have time, so definitely I will try to appear, and in this year also I am going to appear for the GATE exam. But this time I am trying something different. I am not going to appear from the civil engineering. So I will appear in the GATE exam from the architecture stream. From the architecture. So let's see what will happen. So in this time, in GATE 2023, I will appear from the architecture paper. ठीक है? Anything else you want to know about me? I think it is sufficient. It is sufficient, yes or no? Or anything else you want to know? So this is all about me. So let's start the discussion for the subject. And Do you have any idea about the surveying? Do you have any idea what are the topics that we are going to cover? We will try to understand some basic understanding. Only this is the topic that I will cover in this class. So why did you thinking to give an exam in architecture? No, it has a long story. I was taking online classes. I was taking a long online classes, I think 8 to 9 months back, and I was taking a session. At that session, I was discussing about what are the various opportunity for the civil engineering student. As you know, recently there is some change in the pattern in the GATE exam. Now you can appear for two papers. In the GATE exam, now you can appear for the two papers, and the session was related to that only. So at that session, I was discussing, I was telling the student, being a civil engineering student, you can appear for what are some more options from which you can appear for GATE exam, and you can secure the rank, and you can go for the higher studies. What are the various opportunities? So like if you also want to know, so being a civil engineer, you can appear from the architecture paper, you can appear from the environmental engineering and science paper, you can appear from the geomatics engineering paper. So it has also some better opportunities. Like if you want to go for the MTech in IITs in geoinformatics, you can appear with the geomatics paper. So this was the general discussion, and as in our discussion, students challenged, sir, you should appear for the GATE, but this time you should try something different. You are not going to appear for the civil engineering because you have that much experience and you are already teaching some subjects. So let's take as a challenge and try to appear from the architecture. So I suggested I can go for the geomatics engineering because geomatics is the advanced version of the surveying. We will have the discussion. Geomatic engineering is the advanced version of surveying. So I thought this is going to be easy for me. But as per the student demand, no sir, you are not going to appear from the geomatics engineering because you are already teaching the surveying. You are already teaching the surveying. So challenge should be difficult. Challenge should be difficult. Yes or no? So as a challenge, I have accepted that challenge and I have applied for the GATE in architecture stream. So this was the story of the architecture stream. This was the story of the architecture paper. I started preparing. Let's see what will happen. Let's see what will happen. Now the story is clear, Dadan. Now the story is clear. So just I want to just take the experience of the paper. That's why I'm going to appear. Definitely we will learn something new from every experience. Okay. So some of students are having some basic understanding of surveying, but many of are not aware. They are going to cover this subject first time. How many of you are going to cover this subject first time? How many of you are going to cover this subject first time? आप में से कितने ऐसे लोग हैं जो इस सब्जेक्ट को फर्स्ट टाइम कंप्लीट कर रहे हैं, फर्स्ट टाइम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं? So I can ensure you all, whether you have covered this subject earlier or not cover, or you're going to cover the subject first time, but you are going to definitely love and enjoy this subject. This is for sure. You are going to love and enjoy this subject. The journey of this course we are going to complete. I think this course will complete on 17th of Feb. Yes. So definitely you are going to enjoy this subject, and the subject is very interesting as well as easy. So in this class, I will talk little bit about the definition of the surveying, and we will have further discussion in the upcoming class. So let's start the introductory part. And in the introductory part, first I will understand Introduction of surveying. Okay, let's move ahead. This is your syllabus. This is your GATE 2023 syllabus. So let's have some general discussion first. Let's have some general discussion first. This is your GATE 2023 syllabus. So this is a syllabus for from your civil engineering. So in civil engineering, surveying will consist a separate section, that is the section number 7 as per the syllabus. And slide is not visible. Everyone please confirm beta, slide is clearly visible, yes or no? Everyone please confirm beta. What about others? Am I audible? Am I visible clearly to all of you? It is visible. It is just for your reference. You need not to note anything. I will explain each and everything in detail. Don't worry. You need not to note anything. This is the official syllabus of your GATE 2023. So in civil engineering, there is a separate section, that is the geomatics engineering, where the surveying part will comes. So what they have mentioned in the syllabus, So let's see quickly one by one. So some topics are given like this: principles of surveying, errors and their adjustment, maps, scale, coordinate system, distance and angle measurement, leveling, trigonometric leveling, traversing, triangulation, total station, horizontal and vertical curve. No beta, syllabus is not changing. Sometimes it changes minorly. Like recently it was changed in year 2016. So some part can change, but overall the syllabus will be same. So if I compare the syllabus of GATE 2022, GATE 2021, GATE 2023, syllabus is same. So just from your reference point of view, you can feel each and every point in detail. That's why I'm showing you this syllabus. So these are the topics that they have mentioned in the surveying part. And this is your GATE syllabus. Next part is the photogrammetry, remote sensing. In the remote sensing, the topics are scale, flying height, basics of remote sensing and GIS. So this is your complete GATE syllabus. Should I repeat once again topics? Is there any requirement to repeat the topics once again? Let's see. Principle of surveying, errors and their adjustment, maps, scale, coordinate system, distance and angle measurement, leveling and the trigonometrical leveling. And if you are not getting these terms, don't worry. If you are not getting these terms as of now, no need to worry. Yes. So, leveling and trigonometrical leveling, traversing and triangulation, survey, total station, horizontal and vertical curve, photogrammetry and remote sensing, scale, flying height, basics of remote sensing and GIS. Do we need to study in the same way for ESE and get that all the point I am going to cover in this lecture itself? Don't worry. So this is your GATE syllabus. If we take the reference of the GATE syllabus, if we are taking the reference of this syllabus, then you can say there are some more exam apart from the GATE also. That for which you are also preparing for. So like in general, we are majorly preparing for GATE exam and ESE exam or state AE exam. These are the exam for which you are preparing for. These are the exams for which you are preparing for. If you are majorly preparing for the GATE exam, along with the GATE exam, you are also preparing for the ESE exam, state, and as well as don't worry, just try to understand the discussion. And if you are if you are following the discussion, your all doubts are going to be clear. We have not started any technical discussion yet. Just try to understand the flow. Listen carefully. At the end of the discussion, your all doubts will be answered. If there is any doubt, you can ask your doubt and query. You can still ask your doubt and query, but first try to understand the discussion. As of now, I have not explained about what is surveying. So how can I differentiate between the surveying and geomatics? If you want to differentiate between two terms, you should have basic understanding about those terms, yes or no. If I want to differentiate between these two mobiles, I should have understanding, I should have basic characteristics, I should know the basic characteristics of both the mobiles, yes or no. Then only we can differentiate. Without knowing the basics, can we differentiate? Dadan. Without knowing the basic features of the object, can we differentiate between the two objects? So as of now, I have I have not explained anything related to the surveying. Yes or no? Also, I have not explained anything related to the geomatics, how I can differentiate. So just try to understand the flow. Your all doubts are going to be answered. I am here to answer your doubts and queries only. That is my duty. So don't worry for that. Clear, beta? The point is clear. So we will have the discussion. So this is your surveying syllabus, or you can say the geometric engineering syllabus. So if I talk about the other exam, so sir, I am preparing for the GATE exam, but I will also appear for the ESE exam, and I will also appear for my state AE exam. So these are the 3 exams that I am targeting for, that I am preparing for. Sir, whatever we are going to discuss in this class, whatever we are going to discuss in this course related to the surveying, it will be sufficient for all the exams or for any particular exam? This should be your first doubt. Whatever we are going to discuss in this course is going to be sufficient for all the exam or for any particular single exam. This should be your doubt. How many of you having this doubt? How many of you are having the same query? Whatever we are going to discuss in this class, in this course, will be sufficient for all the exams or for any particular exam? Okay, so I am here to answer. We are going to complete the discussion for all the exams. So whatever we will discuss in the surveying, it will cover your syllabus for your GATE exam, for your ESE exam, as well for your AE exam. So this discussion is going to be useful for your all the technical exam. In short, I can say, whatever we are going to discuss in this class, in this course, are going to be important, are going to be useful for all the exam. It is going to be useful for GATE exam, undoubtedly. It is going to be useful for your ESE exam preparation, and it will also going to useful for your state AE and JE exam preparation. I think the point is clear to everyone. So just this syllabus we have used just as a reference. We are going to cover some more topics apart from this syllabus. We will have the discussion for all the topics, but apart from all these topics, we will have some more discussion. Some more topics are there that are going to be useful for your others exam, that we will also cover in this course. So this was the discussion related to the surveying syllabus. Okay. So now let's talk about the weightage analysis. Before starting any subject, as I mentioned earlier, you should have clear understanding about the objective and the purpose of the subject for all the subject. Whenever you are going to start any subject, first of all, you should have You should have clear understanding about the objective and the purpose of the subject. Sir, why? Sir, why I will devote my 60 coming 60 to 70 hours for the surveying discussion? Sir, why I should attend all the classes? There should be a particular objective. There should be a specific objective, yes or no? Already we are having the limited time. Our syllabus is quite vast. For GATE exam, we have to study the multiple subject. Huh? So why we are here for this discussion? It should be clear at the very first point at the beginning itself. Okay. So in this slide, in this discussion, this point will be clear कि why we should cover this subject. So if I talk about the GATE exam, if I talk about the GATE exam, if I talk about the ESC exam, and if I talk about your state AE and JE exam. So as I mentioned earlier, and this data is not fixed data. This is for your reference. This is on an average, based on the previous year analysis, based on the past data that are available with us. We are concluding this remark. So this is not 100% fixed. So if I talk about your GATE exam, I hope आप सभी को पता है GATE exam will have of 100 marks. So it will consist 4 to 6 marks in general out of 100 marks. In your GATE paper, the surveying will come nearly 4 to 6 marks. Sometime 4, sometime 5 marks, sometime 6 marks, sometime 3 marks. So this is the general range of your weightage of this subject in your GATE exam. What is the weightage of this subject is clear to everyone? What is the weightage of this subject in your GATE exam is clear to everyone? Yes. But if I talk about the ESC will have two parts. So one is going to be the objective. One is going to be the objective paper and another is going to be the conventional paper. One is going to be the objective paper and another is going to be the conventional paper, and surveying will comes in the paper 2. Surveying is the part of your paper 2. So nearly in objective, first we will focus on the objective. Total marks will be there 300 marks. The objective paper will have total weightage of 300 marks in your ESC, and easily you can expect 16 to 18 marks from this subject, that is the surveying. If I talk about the pre-exam, if I talk about the objective exam. Out of 300 marks for all the technical subject, surveying will have the contribution of nearly 16 to 18 marks. Now I think you are getting the clear understanding why this subject is important. Yes or no? Why this subject is important? If I talk about the AE exam in general, for any state AE exam, for any state assistant engineer exam, surveying will consist nearly 10% of the total weightage. So in your technical paper, whatever will be the total marks, surveying will consist nearly 10% of the total weightage. So if I am having my technical exam of 100 marks, what will be the weightage of the surveying? If I am having my technical paper of 100 marks, what will be the weightage of the surveying? In my state AE exam, obviously the answer is going to be 10. If I am having the paper of 200 marks, if I am having the paper total weightage of total marks of 200, then it will have 20 marks weightage, 20 marks question you will get from the surveying. So as of now, I have covered the syllabus part. What is your syllabus? I have not gone through in the detail. In general, we have discussed. In general, we have seen the syllabus as of now. In general, we have seen the syllabus, and we have talked about this course. This course are going to be useful for GATE, ESE and state AE exam, and for this particular subject, what is the weightage in the different exam, that part I have also covered. So I want confirmation from all of you. If the discussion till now is clear to everyone, everyone please confirm in the chat box. यहां तक की सभी बातें सभी को क्लियर हैं, तो प्लीज कंफर्म इन द चैट बॉक्स. Or if anyone having any doubt, any query till now, whatever I have covered, you can ask your doubt, you can ask your query, I will answer. Everyone, be interactive in the class. This subject is all about the interaction. If you are going to be interactive in the class, you are going to deal with this subject as a story, nothing else. If you are interactive in the class, this subject, again I am repeating my words, if you are interactive in the class, you are going to love this subject. You are going to love this subject, and there is no need to repeat again and again. So you can say, if you are going to be interactive in the class, this will be the first and the last time you are going to study this subject. You are not going to forget any concept if you are interactive. So it's my suggestion to all of you, be interactive in the class and take active participation in the learning. So this was the weightage analysis of the subject surveying that we have discussed. Okay. So what is the next part? So, sir, for this subject, for this course, is there any requirement of the reference book? Is there any requirement of the reference book? In general, class notes, class discussion are going to be sufficient. Because whatever I am going to discuss in the class, that will not only from one book. As a student, you have to deal with the 14 to 15 subjects, yes or no? While if you are preparing for any competitive exam, any technical exam, so as a student, you have to prepare for the 15 to 16 subjects. But being a teacher, being a teacher, I can say I have to deal with the 3 or 4 subjects in general. And I am dealing with all these subjects from last 8 to 9 years, as I mentioned earlier. So you can say I can afford some time, I have some time, I can go for the multiple books. Yes or no? I have that much time because I have to deal with the 3 or 4 subject or 2 or 3 subject. So that much time I am having, I can follow multiple books, but as a student it is going to be difficult for you to follow the 2 or 3 books, reference book for each and every subject. So let's say if you are going to prepare for the 15 subjects, and if you are following the 2 reference book for each and every subject, so you have to follow the 30 books. So class notes plus 30 books, I think it will be very difficult as a student, yes or no? So be assured, whatever I am going to discuss in the class, it is not from only a single book, it is the best version that you are going to see. For any topic, the best explanation that is available from any book, that I will provide you. Okay? So that you can learn all the concepts in a very easy way. That is the main objective. So I am here just to make the subject easy, just to make the subject understandable, and just to complete the subject within the specific time by taking the proper care of the time, and we can prepare. I am here to complete your syllabus effectively. I am not going to discuss any theory that is provided by me. All the things, all the discussion is already covered in the books. So whatever I will discuss, definitely all the things are already mentioned in somewhere. Yes or no? So what is my role? I am here to deliver the concepts so that you can understand in a very easy way, in an effective way, and you can retain the concept. That is my duty. Clear? So, in general, if I talk about the reference book, there is no need to follow the reference book because you that time the requirement of the time is going to be quite high, and you don't have that much time. Yes or no? So, class notes are going to be sufficient. Class notes and the live classes what you are attending are going to be sufficient. But if still for any particular topic, for any particular numerical problem, for any particular theory problem, if you want to discuss, if you want to go for the reference book, so definitely I will tell you about the books also, which are the best book that are available, that you can follow as a reference book if required. If required. So you can go for the BC Punamiya, Surveying by BC Punamiya, volume 1, 2 and 3. Total 3 volumes are available. Total 3 volumes are available. Very detailed discussion is there. बहुत डिटेल में सारे कंसेप्ट कवर किए गए हैं. BC Punamiya, Surveying by BC Punamiya, volume 1st, 2nd and 3rd, and you can go for the Surveying by Dr. S.K. Duggal sir, volume 1 and 2. So to cover the concepts and the numerical, to cover the concepts of the surveying and the numerical, you can follow these books if required. This is the very important things that I have written. If required, these are the reference book that you can follow. So I think this point is also clear. Sir, what are the various study material that we require to complete this course effectively? Sir, I want to complete this course effectively. What are the study material that is required? Please tell me. This would be your query. So, if you are preparing for if you are preparing for the exam like GATE, ESE, and State AE exam, so first of all, you should have class notes and you must have attended all the live classes. You must have attended all the live classes. Apart from the class notes, you should have PYQs. So you should have previous year questions with you for like GATE exam and for ESE exam and whatever state exam you are preparing for. For any exam if you are preparing for, you should have PYQ. It is very important. It is very important to cover the PYQ. Why? Any one of you are going to tell why it is important to practice the PYQ? Why it is important to practice the previous year question? Because the previous year question are not going to repeat, especially in the case of GATE exam. Whatever question they have asked, they are not going to ask the same question in the upcoming GATE exam. So why, sir? Why? Why it is very important or essential for an aspirant to prepare the PYQ? Very good, Ria. You are absolutely right. There is a difference in the difficulty level. There is a difference in the pattern for each and every exam. So let's, for the discussion, if we take the example of the GATE and ESE exam, all the technical syllabus is almost same. So whatever syllabus I have mentioned, that was the GATE syllabus, and hardly 2 or 3 topics will be more in the case of our ESE syllabus. Rest the same syllabus will be there. But if you compare, the difficulty level of both the exams are not going to be same. Yes or no? So GATE have some different expectation from you and ESE will have some different expectation from you. So it is very important to understand for us what is the basic expectation what is the basic requirement to crack any exam. So from that point of view, so who will tell you about this? What is the basic requirement of the exam? The best way to get the understanding about the requirement is to follow the PYQs. So when you will practice the PYQ question of any particular exam, you will have clear understanding ki what are the basic expectation. What are the basic expectation of this exam and how I should prepare. So very soon, beta, all the PYQs will be provided to you in this platform also. We are working hard for that. So you will get the solution for the PYQs. You will get all the questions topic by question. So things are in the developing mode. But as of now, if you are not having the PYQ, you can arrange. Various options are available very easily. Very easily you are going to get the PYQs. But if you are, as of now, if all the things are not available, you can arrange, but you should have PYQs for sure. So we have already worked on the Gatopedia for the short notes. Similarly, we are preparing the best possible, in the best possible way, we are preparing the PYQs, but definitely it will take some time. So till now, you can arrange. Yes. So in this course, you should have minimum of PYQs of 2 exam. You should have PYQ of GATE. You should have PYQ of ESE. Minimum to minimum, you should have PYQ objective. So these 2 things you should have in the PYQ segment. Clear? Because all the state exams are generally following the trend of the ESE. All the states exams are following the pattern for the ESE exams if you are covering any subject. And I hope you, as you mentioned earlier, you covered 4 or 5 subjects. You have already covered 4 or 5 subjects in this batch. So I can say you must have followed the PYQs of GATE and ESE, yes or no? Have you followed the PYQs of GATE and ESE? Or you just completed the subject? Have you followed the PYQs for the topics for the subject that you have already covered? Yes or no? Please let me know in the chat box. Please let me know in the chat box. Have you followed all the PYQs? Okay, so this is your first subject. I am asking for from those who have covered some subject. Like you have mentioned earlier, you have mentioned some subjects. You have not followed the PYQs. You have not followed the PYQs for the subject that you have covered. Okay, no problem. But now it is mandatory to follow the PYQs. Because without PYQs, your preparation is incomplete. Obviously, there are multiple questions from any particular subject. We cannot cover all the question in the class. Yes. We cannot cover all the questions, all the PYQs in the class, but definitely we are going to cover some questions. Rest question you have to attempt with your own. It will boost your confidence, because until and unless you are not going to face the question, your confidence will not increase. So I hope you got the importance. I hope you got this point. Why PYQ practice is very important. So if you want to learn any subject effectively, PYQ is the compulsory thing that you need to follow. So I have explained enough. So I think now this point is clear. So just arrange the PYQs of the GATE and ESE. GATE and ESE. Clear? So class notes and live classes and PYQs. Apart from these two things, I am going to provide you the DPP. I am going to provide you the DPP. You must follow all the DPPs after the class. So whenever it will be required, I am going to provide you the DPP. There will be some question from the topic that we have already covered. You must attempt all the DPP. If you are facing any problem, any difficulty in the DPP, I am also going to provide you the video solution. So for each and every DPP, you are going to get the video solution. But don't directly jump into the video solution. First, attempt the DPP. If you are facing any problem, if you are missing any concept, if any discussion is required, in that case, you can go for the video solution. So just not try to collect the data. That this study material I have collected from the source 1. This study material I have collected from the source 2. This study material I have collected from the source 3. It will not help you. No matter how much study material you are having in front of you, but if you are not learning the concepts, it is not going to be useful for in your life in any way. So we have to understand the things, we have to learn the things. So yes, sir, I have 50 DPPs. I have collected all the PDF. I have stored all the video solution in my mobile or in my laptop. But I have not attempted any single DPP. But as a data, as a study material, I have all the things. So you are not going to get a single mark in your GATE exam for collecting the data. If you have just collected the data, you have not learned anything, you are not going to get single mark. And as a student, this is the most common mistake that we are doing. We are just focusing to collect the data as much as we can. And this is the absolutely wrong thing. You should try to learn the data. You should not going to just store the data in n number of ways are there. So just not make a separate folder for the surveying DPP and surveying DPP solution and just you are collecting the data. It will not help you. So what will be the approach? We will attend the class. We will have the class discussion. After the class discussion, if there will be the DPP, I will practice that daily practice question problem. And if you are facing any problem, then we will go for the video solution. I think this point is clear to everyone. I think this point is clear to everyone, yes or no? And I think these things are very important. That's why in the first lecture itself, as of now, in the nearly 40 to 50 minute discussion, I have not explained any technical point with you. I have not covered any single technical discussion as of now. But apart from the technical discussion, this discussion is the most important discussion if you talk about my opinion. So you should have clear understanding about the path and how we are going to follow this path for the better understanding. So Riya is saying lag in video. What about others? Am I audible? Am I visible clearly to all of you? Everyone please confirm in the chat box. Am I audible? Am I visible clearly to all of you? If any particular student having the problem, please do refresh your class. There may be some technical issue from your side. What about others? Am I audible? Am I visible clearly to all of you? Am I audible? Am I visible clearly to all of you? Please confirm in the chat box so that we can proceed further. Okay, so sometimes there is a issue. Okay, no worry. Okay. So I think this approach is clear. We will follow the class notes. We will practice some PYQs in the class. Remaining PYQs you will practice at your own to develop your confidence. Then we will go for the DPP. If there is any problem in any particular in any particular question, we can refer the video solution. So I will also provide you a DPP video solution. What next? What next? You will have the weekly test. You will have the weekly test. You will have the weekly test. Everyone, do attempt the weekly test. Tests are very essential. So whatever you are learning, you need to analyze at what extent you are getting you are grasping the concepts. Yes. So what is the best possible way to understand this point? Appear for the weekly test. Again, for the weekly test also you will have the video solution, but not before the test. This video solution will provided to you after the test. Yes. Again, if you are having any problem in any particular question, you can follow the video solution of your weekly test. So let's summarize. Let's summarize what should be the method to understand, to learn any subject effectively. Follow the classes or also follow the live classes. So I will not recommend, if you are if you are learning the subject for the very first time, try to attend all the live classes. Do not go for the recorded classes. Why? Because when you are attending the live classes, your interaction will be more. You will get sufficient time to understand the concept, to grab the concept, to process that concept. But in the recorded, you have control. You can fast forward the discussion. You can skip some discussion, and it is not going to be useful. It will harm you learning experience. So whenever you are going to completing any subject for the very first time, try to attend the live classes, because whenever we will learn something, we require some time to process that data, to process that concept. Yes or no? And if you are not providing that time, for a short time, for a time being, you will feel yes, you know this concept, but very soon this concept will wash out. So from the interaction point of view, live classes are very effective. So first try to attend the live classes, follow all the classes without any miss. कोई class miss नहीं करनी है आपको. Then revise the concept, revise the class discussion, then attempt the PYQs. PYQ should be minimum PYQ that you have to appear for GATE and ESE. Then go for the DPP. Sorry. Then go for the weekly test. Go for the weekly test, or again follow this cycle. So this is the regular continuous process. Classes will be there. Revise PYQ DPP weekly test. Revise PYQ DPP weekly test. Revise PYQ along with attending the live classes. This process you need to follow. And trust me, for any subject, if you are following this approach, you are going to feel something different. You are going to feel something different that you have not felt till now. Your learning experience is going to be entirely different. Your learning experience is going to be entirely different. You will have sufficient confidence. Yes, now I am ready for exam. Now I can attempt any question related to the topic that we have covered. So this should be the approach that we are going to follow. I hope the discussion is also clear to everyone. I hope the reference book and the study material required for the effective learning This point is also clear to everyone. If anyone having any doubt, any query in this discussion, you can ask your doubt, you can ask your query. If anyone having any doubt, any query, you can ask your doubt, you can ask your query. And if entire discussion is clear to everyone, you can confirm in the chat box so that we can move further. Sir, in today's class, I am facing a lot of network issue. So I think better there is some technical problem from your side, because if the problem will be from my side, it will for all. Okay. So now let's move to the next part. Sir, so as we have just discussed about the syllabus, as we have discussed about the syllabus, we have seen the GATE syllabus, or as I mentioned, I will also cover some concepts. Those are not in the GATE exam, but they are useful for your state AE and JE exam and for your ESC exam. So, how we are going to proceed this course, sir? So, we can divide the entire syllabus of the surveying in the different chapters. That will be easy approach. Yes or no? That will be easy approach. Yes or no? तो अगर हम पूरे सब्जेक्ट्स को, अगर हम पूरे सिलेबस को अलग अलग चैप्टर्स में डिवाइड कर लेते हैं, तो उनको कवर करना, उनको समझना, उनको रिटेन करना हमारे लिए इजी हो जाएगा. यस और नो? तो एक बार सभी लोग कमेंट कर देंगे बेटा, so that I can make sure I am getting the comments from all the batches. Because as of now, I'm able to see the comments of Ria and Dadan only. So everyone do comment so that I can ensure all the comments are visible to me. Now I've got the comment from Kundan. Okay, so I think the comments are visible. Comments visible hai, yes or no? The comments are visible. From all the batches, the comments are visible, yes or no? Okay, so now we can proceed further. So now I'm going to divide the entire syllabus into the different chapters. And what are the various chapters that we are going to cover in this course? Let's see the discussion. So first chapter is going to be your chapter number 1 is going to be the fundamental of surveying. First chapter that we are going to discuss, that is going to be the fundamental of surveying. The next chapter that we will discuss is going to be the linear measurement. The next chapter that we will cover, that is going to be the compass surveying. Fourth chapter that we will cover is going to be the traverse surveying. Next chapter that we will cover, that is going to be the leveling. Next chapter that we will cover, that will be the trigonometrical leveling. Next chapter is going to be the contouring. Eighth chapter will be the, so we have covered about the leveling, trigonometrical leveling, contouring. We will discuss about the plane table surveying. Then we will go for the theodolite surveying. Then we will go for the tachyometric surveying. And after the discussion about the tachyometry survey, we will go for the errors and accuracy. Next chapter is going to be the calculation of area and volume. Calculation of area and volume. Next chapter is going to be the basics of curve. Then we will go for the after that we will go for the photogrammetry surveying. And then we will discuss about the basics of GPS, GIS and remote sensing. So these are the various chapters that we need to cover. You can write down. So you can divide your entire syllabus of GATE, ESC, State, AE exam of this particular subject of surveying into the different chapters. So nearly you can say total 15 chapters are there. Total 15 chapters are there. Fundamental of surveying, linear measurement, compass surveying, traverse surveying, leveling, trigonometrical leveling, contouring, plane table surveying, theodolite surveying, tachyometry surveying, errors and accuracy, calculation of area and volume, basics of curves, photogrammetry surveying, and basics of GPS, GIS and remote sensing. So these are the chapters that we need to complete in this course. We have divided the entire syllabus of your surveying from different exam point of view into the different 15 chapters. And we will have the discussion for each and every chapter in detail. So what we need to cover this point is clear to everyone. What are the various topics? What are the various chapters that we need to cover in this course? This point is clear to everyone. This point is clear to everyone. Please confirm in the chat box. Clear है? Noted? Have you noted all this discussion? So, yes, this is the part that we are going to cover. So, now we can start our discussion for the surveying. So, I'm going to cover one more general discussion that is related to the revision strategy. And this is the most frequent and common query from a student point of view. Because sir, I have completed 3 to 4 subjects and I am also attending the classes for your this subject surveying also. So at a time, how we can revise the 5 subjects? I don't have that much time, sir. We need to focus the current subject also. We need to focus the current subject. Yes, you can ask your query, beta. Dadan, you can ask your query. Yes. Yes. What is your query, beta? You can ask. Yes, you can ask, beta. You can ask. Okay, so ask your query in the comment. I will definitely answer. And till then, we can complete this part. So, what should be the revision strategy so that, sir, whatever subjects we have already covered, I can continuously in touch with those subjects as well as I can attend the current subject also effectively. So, what should be the approach? So, the best possible way to revise the subject or to effectively revise the subject that I am going to discuss with all of you. So, let's say today is the 30th. Today is the 30th Jan, and it is the first class of your surveying. I can see your comment, Dadan. I can see your comment, don't worry. आपके कमेंट्स विजिबल है मेरे को बेटा. So let's say this is your first class of the surveying. So what is the approach that you can follow? Tomorrow we will have the next class, 31st Jan. Then we will have the discussion on 1st Feb, 2nd Feb, 3rd Feb, and so on. Yes or no? We will have the continuous classes. We will have the continuous classes. So, what approach we can follow? So, let's say this is your first class, this is your second class, third class, fourth class, fifth class, and so on. So you can do one thing. You can establish, you can do one thing. All the comments are visible. Dadan, all the comments are visible. So I can see your comment, don't worry. So we are going to follow a simple approach. We are going to follow a simple approach. And what is that approach? Whenever I am going to attend the next live class, whenever I am going to attend the next live class, I am going to revise the discussion till the last class. It is very important to understand this point. I have not mentioned revise the discussion of the last class. So for example, I am going to attend the fifth class. I am going to attend the fifth class tomorrow. So before attending the fifth class, I must ensure that I have revised all the concepts till the fourth class. This should be the approach. When I will attend the sixth live class, make sure you have revised all the concepts till the fifth class. Sir, how it is practically possible? Sir, there is no problem, as when the classes are less, let's say I have attended 1 or 2 class, so I can easily manage. But what about the 16th class? When I am going to when I am going to attend the 16th class of this subject, how I can revise all the discussion till the 15th class? Yes, you can. Because when you are repeatedly revising the concepts, the time requirement is going to be less. The time requirement are going to be less. Because when 15th class will be there, you have revised all these classes multiple times. You have revised all these classes multiple times. So, the next time when you are going to revise all these concepts once again, it will require very less time. So, it is possible. So, we are going to follow this approach. Whenever we will have the live class, whenever I will going to attend the live class, I will try to revise all the concepts till the last class on the daily basis. And if you are following this approach, when you are going to complete this syllabus, when you are going to complete this course, as you are going to complete this course, at that time, you have revised these concepts multiple times. So time requirement for the revision is going to be very less. So after completing this subject, when we are going to complete this course, when we are going to complete this subject, Periodically, we can revise once in a week, once in 15 days, one in 20 days. We can revise all the concept again in a very less and effective way. I hope the approach is clear to everyone. So initially, it will be difficult, no doubt. Initially, it will be difficult to follow this approach, but trust me, if you have followed this approach for 1 week, if you can follow this approach for 1 week, very easily you can follow this approach for your upcoming subjects as well as for the upcoming discussion. So try to follow. So when tomorrow we are going to attend the live class, today's discussion should be revised. I hope this point is clear to everyone. When I am going to appear for the 4th class discussion, till the 3rd class I have revised before attending the 4th class. This is the approach. I hope the discussion is clear to everyone. I hope and yes, in this way you can revise your entire subjects very effectively. And it will also help you to retain your all the concepts for the longer duration of the time. Because as of now you are preparing for GATE 2024 or GATE 2025 exam. Yes. You must be preparing for the GATE 2024, 2025 or GATE 2026 exam. Whatever concepts we are learning today, we need to retain all these concepts till the GATE 2024. Yes or no? Yes, as the Dadan is preparing for GATE 2025 exam. As the Dadan is preparing for GATE 2025 exam, means Dadan will have the exam on Feb 2025. Dadan will have GATE exam on Feb 2025. And as of now, their GATE exam we are discussing, that is Feb 2023. That means whatever concept you are learning today, whatever concept of surveying you are learning today, you need to retain all these concepts for 2 years. You need to retain all these concepts for 24 months. Yes or no? Because after 24 months you will have your exam. After 24 months you will have your exam. After 12 months you will have your GATE 2024 exam. But whatever concepts we are learning today, they will provide the marks only if we are able to retain all these concepts till the exam hall. Yes or no? Today I have completed the discussion. Today I know the concept. Today I am comfortable with the concept. But after 1 month, without revision, due to the lack of revision, I have missed that concept. So, how you are going to get the marks? So, completing one subject is a one thing. If you have completed the discussion for the subject, that is absolutely fine, no problem with that. But your role will start. Your role will start as the subject will complete. How you can effectively retain all these concepts till your exam. And here comes the game of the revision. That's why the revision is essential. If we are not continuously, if you are not periodically revising the concepts, for sure we are going to miss the concept. For sure we are going to miss the concept. And no matter how strongly you learn the concept 24 months back, if you are not able to apply the concept in the exam hall, you are not going to get the marks. There is only one way, dear. With the multiple revision, if whatever concept I have covered today before the exam, before the Feb 2025, let's say if I have revised this concept 20 times, how you are going to forget? How you are going to forget? That's why, that's why revision is very important. So you can follow this approach. So while covering the concept, while discussing the subject, you are going to revise all the concept 10 to 15 times very easily. Then when you are going to revise the subject in first time, when you are going to revise the subject for the very first time, it will take more time. But when you are going to revise the same concepts second time, it will require less time as compared to the first time. So if you are going for the multiple revision, your time requirement is going to be less. Yes or no? So do not consider ki yes, what time required for the first time revision will be same for the 10th time revision. No. But you have to revise the concept multiple times. Then only you can compress the subject. Remember, in childhood days, we have learned ABCD. Yes or no? How difficult it was? How difficult it was? Yes or no? So when we were 3 to 4 years old, and somebody is going to taught this is the ABCD. How frequently we are missing the sequence of the ABCD. But today we are comfortable with that. So it may be possible for the first time you took 2 to 3 months or 4 months to learn the ABCD. Yes or no? But from that point till now, you have revised these concepts multiple times. Now you are comfortable. So if you want to revise the ABCD as of now, as of today, it will require 3 to 4 months. Yes or no? The concept you have learned 15 years back. Yes or no? But you can easily recall all the concepts within a minute, within half of the minute, because you have revised multiple times. Initially, at the starting, it requires more time. You required 4 to 5 months for learning the same concepts. But as you are dealing with the frequent revision, now you can revise all the concepts within a minute. Yes or no? So I hope you got the point. There is only one way. Revise the subject multiple times. Try to compress the subject so then you can retain all these concepts for the longer duration. So I hope this strategy is going to be useful for all of you. And if you are following this strategy, so while completing the subject, you are going to revise the subject multiple times. After that, it will be very easy for you. It will require very less time to revise all these concepts in a very effective way. Point is clear to everyone? Point is clear to everyone? I hope the discussion till now is clear to everyone. Okay. So you can comment again, beta. Dadan, you can comment again. You can comment your query again. I will answer, don't worry. नो वरी, अगर आपको कोई कमेंट मिस हो गया बेटा, यू कैन कमेंट अगेन. कैन वी मूव फर्दर? कैन वी मूव फर्दर बेटा? Okay, so now let's come back to our first discussion, that what is surveying? What is surveying? So now we are going to start our discussion, and we will start our chapter number 1, that is the fundamental of surveying, from the next class. So next class will be at 9 p.m. and at that in that class we are going to start the first chapter. But before starting, let's have some basic understanding about the surveying. So whatever you know about the surveying, when you listen the word surveying, what comes in your mind, you can put in the chat box. Whatever your opinion, whatever your knowledge related to the surveying, you can mention in the chat box. Sir, I am asking about how to manage the time. But we all have same time. Yes or no? Yes, yes. I got your point. Your query is, sir, how we can manage our time, because we have to attend the college also and we have to prepare for the exam also. I'm in the college and I'm also preparing for the competitive exam. How I can manage the time? This is your query? Yes or no? So everyone is having different assignments. Yes or no? So what you can do, you can just simply prioritize the things. As of now, for the coming 2 or 3 years, my whole sole priority is for my study. In your college, for example, you are attending the 9 to 5 college. So obviously, definitely, you are getting the 1 or 2 hours free time. This is for sure. We have also attended the college. In your college schedule, you must getting the 1 or 2 hours spare time or free time, and that time as of now we are spending with the friends or in any other some activity. Yes or no? Are you getting 1 to 2 hours spare time in your college duration? Yes or no, Dadan? First clear this point. Some free lectures are there sometimes, some duration, sometime definitely you are getting. Yes or no? So how you are utilizing that time? For example, in the college time, I am getting 1 to 2 hours apart from the classes, apart from the lab work. So now, tell me how you are utilizing that time, with friends, in canteen, or any other things are there in the college. Now, what we can do? Whatever you have prepared for the competitive exam, let's say you have attended in the previous days. In the previous day, you have attended 4-hour classes. Let's take the example of this class itself. So now you are attending the, let's say, surveying class. We will cover some concepts in the today's class. Now what you can do? You can revise these concepts in your free time in your college. You can practice the PYQs related to these concepts in your college. You can practice the DPP of these concepts in your college in your spare time that you are not effectively utilizing. 45 minutes are more than enough. It was just an example to make you understand this point कि you have to manage your time. You have to manage your time. We all have limited time. That I was trying to mention कि try to prioritize the things. So whatever times you are getting, whenever you are getting the free times, try to utilize for your study. So you need to compromise some things. Yes. In that some free time you can go for the canteen also. Huh? You can move with your friend also. But you can also revise the concept. You can also practice some PYQs. If you are getting the 15 minutes free times, in 15 minutes you can practice minimum 5 to 6 PYQ. Yes or no? So do one thing. Analyze your today's day. आज का डे आप एनालाइज करो और देखो कितना फ्री टाइम आपके पास अवेलेबल था और उस फ्री टाइम को आपने कैसे यूटिलाइज किया. You will get the understanding. And yes, if there is any way, if there is any possibility you can use that time for your study, you can go for that. So this is the one way, because again I am repeating the same thing. We all are having the same time, and in that same time we have to perform, we have to get maximum out of it. For that the time management is required. Clear hai? Okay. So now let's come back to the main discussion. So now we are going to, sir, I have to make long length notes from the slides. Notes should be precise, because your GATE exam is objective in nature. Your ESE pre-exam is objective in nature. So try to cover all the important discussion in your notes. If we are preparing very lengthy notes, again it will create the problem while revision. So let's say I have prepared a very lengthy notes, but when we will complete all the 14 or 15 subjects, how we can revise? So notes should be very point to point, so that for any concepts I am revising, I can get entire picture of that concept. Notes should be like this. Notes should be like this. Clear? Okay. So I was discussing what do you understand by the surveying. When you listen this word surveying, what comes into your mind? What is the first thought that you are getting after listening this word surveying? Tell me in the chat box. Tell me in the chat box. सर मुझे डेली नोट्स बनाना चाहिए. हाँ बेटा, डेली क्लास के बाद आप नोट्स बनाइए. बिल्कुल क्लास के बाद आप नोट्स बनाइए. उससे आपके दो फायदे हैं. आपके नोट्स भी प्रिपेयर हो जाएंगे और आप साथ साथ एक बार उन कंसेप्ट्स को रिवाइज भी कर लेंगे. क्लियर है? क्लास में ज्यादा से ज्यादा फोकस करिए कंसेप्ट्स को समझने के लिए, क्योंकि वाइल डिस्कशन, अगर डिस्कशन के दौरान ही आप नोट्स बना रहे हैं, उस केस में आप कहीं ना कहीं मेन डिस्कशंस को मिस कर देते हैं. तो इन द क्लास योर ऑब्जेक्टिव शुड बी लर्न द कंसेप्ट्स, एंड आफ्टर द क्लास you can prepare notes accordingly. Whatever important points are there, you can mention in the notes. So in this way you are again going to revise the entire class before making the note. So my question was, what do you mean by the surveying? No matter आपने सर्वेइंग पहले कंप्लीट करा है, सर्वेइंग पहले कंप्लीट नहीं करा है, no problem with that. But when you listen this word surveying, what is the first thought that you are getting? What is the first thought that you are getting? So beta, if you go for the dictionary meaning of the surveying, If you go for the dictionary meaning of surveying, so surveying means collection of data. The dictionary meaning of surveying is collection of data in general. This is not particularly related to the civil engineering. No. In general, if you go for the dictionary meaning of the surveying, you will see it is the collection of data. Why data is required? Why we should collect the data? Any data. My first question is, what is the requirement to collect the data? Is data is important? Is data is important? And how it is important for a civil engineer? How it is important for a civil engineer? A civil engineer needs data, but why? Data is very important. Okay, very good. So in general, if we talk about the data, or if we talk about the surveying, we can say if we have sufficient data for any particular thing. If we have sufficient data for any particular thing, then we can process that data as per our need. Yes, we can process that data, or as per our requirement, we can get some important conclusion from that data. If we have sufficient data, based on that data, we can get some important conclusion. Yes or no? Without data, we cannot do anything. Without data, we cannot do anything. Being a civil engineer, you have to deal with the construction projects. Being a civil engineer, you have to deal with the construction projects like residential projects, buildings, infrastructural projects, roads, highways, dam, yes, commercial construction projects, and so on. So whenever you are going to plan for the construction of any project, the first and the foremost thing that is required, that is the data. Yes or no? What is our requirement? As per the requirement, we are going to complete the construction of the project. Yes or no? So you should have clear understanding about your requirement from that particular project. For that, data is required. So can I say, for any civil engineering construction project, the game will start from the surveying only. The game will start from the surveying only. You should have clear understanding about your requirement. You should have clear understanding about the resources that are available with you. For example, if I want to construct a 10-room house, मैं ऐसा चाहता हूं कि मैं एक ऐसा घर बनाऊं जिसमें 10 रूम हो. दिस इज माई रिक्वायरमेंट. मैं एक ऐसा घर बनाना चाह रहा हूं जिसमें कम से कम 10 रूम्स आर देयर. बट उस कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए जो मेरे पास जगह अवेलेबल है, लैंड अवेलेबल है, वो है केवल एक 10 फीट बाई 10 फीट का एरिया. जगह मेरे पास सिर्फ इतनी अवेलेबल है. I have that much piece of land, and in this land I want to construct a 10-room house. Is it possible? Is it possible? Is it possible to construct a 10 room house in this particular field? Answer is going to be no. answer is going to be no. Yes or no? So how you have drawn this conclusion? How you have drawn this conclusion कि sir no, it is not possible to construct, because you, with the help of the data, somehow you have roughly calculated कि let's say sir, if you want to construct a room of 10 by 10, 10 by 10 का भी अगर आप सर रूम कंस्ट्रक्ट करना चाह रहे हैं और टोटल 10 रूम्स ऐसे बनाना चाह रहे हैं, तो इसका जो एरिया है, द एरिया इज गोइंग टू बी 100 स्क्वायर फीट. Yes or no? And if you want to construct the 10 rooms, minimum area you should have, that is the 1000 square feet. Yes or no? Yes or no? Sir, at least you should have minimum 1000 square foot area to construct a house with 10 rooms. But you have availability of only 100 square feet area. It is not possible. This was the approach जिसके बेसिस पे आपने आंसर दिया नो? यस और नो? दिस वॉज द अप्रोच जिसके बेसिस पे आप यू हैव कंक्लूडेड कि सर नो, इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू कंस्ट्रक्ट द हाउस in this particular field. What is this? What all these features? This is the data. This is the data. How you are saying the available area is 100 square feet. What is this? This is the data. The required area is 2000 square feet. What is this? This is the data. And how you will get this data? How you will get this data? With the help of the surveying. With the help of the surveying. If I want to calculate this area, you should have clear understanding. If we want to calculate the area, we need to define all these points. We need to define the position of the point A. We need to define the position of the point B. अरे अपने एरिया की, अपनी जगह की बाउंड्रीज को तो डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा. Yes or no? And if I want to define the boundaries of my area, boundaries of my ground, I need to define all these points. How I can define the position of all these points? Until and unless we are not able to define the position of these points, we cannot define the area. We cannot calculate the area. Yes or no? So let's say this is your earth. Let's say this is your earth, or this is the ground. Plotting is there, and this portion belong to me. Only this hedge portion belong to me. Only this hedge portion belong to me. And I want to construct my project in this piece of land. Why A, B, C, D are important? Okay, let's say I am explaining that point again. Listen, Ria. So this is your ground and this is your portion. You want to construct your house in this particular hedge portion. Tell me what is the area. Ria, I am asking to you. Tell me what is the area of this ground that belongs to you. Where you want to construct your house, what will be this area, and how you are going to calculate this area. Tell me from the basic itself. One by 12 of the total area. Okay, so what is the total area? What is the what is the total area? What is the total area? What is the total area? Question is same. I don't know, but you should know. We cannot say like this कि सर आई वांट टू कंस्ट्रक्ट अ हाउस एंड आई हैव सम लैंड. समवन इज आस्किंग इज what is the area of your land? What is the area of your land where you want to construct your home, your house? So you are going to say, I don't know. Will be satisfactory? Will be satisfactory? रिया, कि सर मैं घर बनाना चाहती हूं, मैं घर बनाना चाहती हूं और घर बनाने के लिए मेरे पास कुछ जगह भी अवेलेबल है, बट वो कितनी जगह है ये मुझे नहीं पता है. ऐसे काम चलेगा क्या? ऐसे काम चलेगा क्या? बोलो बेटा. आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी नो. So this is the point. If I want to define the area, if I want to measure the area, let's say I am taking your example, कि sir, this area is going to be nearly 1/12 of the total area. That's absolutely fine. But if I want to define if I want to calculate the overall area, we need to define these points, yes or no? We need to define this point, yes or no? We need to define this point, yes or no? If I can measure the length AB, if I can measure the length AD, so can I say, if I am considering this area as a rectangular area, can I say this is going to be AB into AD, L into B? बोलो बेटा. Without defining these points, we cannot measure the distance. And if we don't know the distance, we cannot define the area. We cannot define the area. We cannot define the area. So now, how we are going to define this point? This is the part of discussion of your surveying. So surveying is an art. So let's come back to the discussion. So surveying is the art or science for defining the relative position of a point. In the surveying we are going to define the relative position of a point. Point may be on the earth surface. Point may be above the earth surface or point may be below the earth surface. सर्वेइंग की हेल्प से हम किसी भी पॉइंट की पोजीशन को डिफाइन करना चाहते हैं. वो पॉइंट अर्थ सरफेस पे लाई कर सकता है, वो पॉइंट अर्थ सरफेस के ऊपर हो सकता है, वो पॉइंट अर्थ सरफेस के नीचे हो सकता है. वी वांट टू डिफाइन द रिलेटिव पोजीशन ऑफ दैट पॉइंट with the help of the linear measurement and angular measurement. किन्हीं भी पॉइंट को डिफाइन करने के लिए हमें लीनियर मेजरमेंट की जरूरत पड़ सकती है, हमें एंगुलर मेजरमेंट्स की जरूरत पड़ सकती है. तो आई थिंक द डेफिनेशन ऑफ द सर्वेइंग इज क्लियर टू एवरीवन. क्लियर है? तो सर्वेइंग इज एन आर्ट फॉर डिटरमाइनिंग द रिलेटिव पोजीशन ऑफ अ पॉइंट. Point may be on the surface, above the earth surface, below the earth surface, with the help of the linear measurement, with the help of the angular measurement, with the help of the linear measurement, with the help of the angular measurement. देखो डेफिनेशन. सर्वेइंग इज एन आर्ट for defining the relative position of a point, the relative position of a point. Point may be on the earth's surface, above the earth's surface, or below the earth's surface. with the help of linear and angular measurement. With the help of linear and angular measurement. So there are some important terms. There are some important terms in this definition, like what do you mean by the relative position? What do you mean by the relative position? For example, consider this as a point A. Can you define the position of this point A? Can you define the position of this point A? No. Why? Because you don't know the reference. Without reference, we cannot define the position of any point. We need some reference to define the position, yes or no? If I am saying this is the reference, from this reference, what is the position of this point? You can measure some distance or you can measure some angle to define this point, yes or no? So without reference, we cannot perform the measurement. Without reference, we cannot define the position of the point. That's why we have used the term relative position. What do you mean by the relative position? We will define the position of any point with reference to the fixed reference point. Yes or no? So reference is very important. And for defining any point, we required two types of the measurement. One will be the linear measurement and another will be the angular measurement. Linear measurement deals with the measurement of the distances, and angular measurement deals with the measurement of the angles. So by measuring some distance, by measuring some angle, we can define the relative position of a point. We can define the position of a point with the reference. Point may be on the surface, point may be above the earth's surface, और पॉइंट में भी बिलो द अर्थ सरफेस. तो क्या मैं ये बोल सकता हूं कि किसी भी पॉइंट की रिलेटिव पोजीशन को डिफाइन करने के लिए हमें कुछ मेजरमेंट्स करने पड़ेंगे, हमें रेफरेंस के बारे में पता होना चाहिए, हमें लीनियर मेजरमेंट करना आना चाहिए. लीनियर मेजरमेंट डील्स विद द मेजरमेंट ऑफ द डिस्टेंसेस. वी शुड नो अबाउट द एंगुलर मेजरमेंट. मेजरमेंट डील्स विद द एंगल्स. Point may be anywhere. Point may be anywhere. Point may be on the earth's surface. Point may be above the earth's surface, or point may be below the earth's surface. So in the today's lecture, I have discussed some general things related to the surveying. I have discussed about the definition of the surveying. I have discussed about the weightage. I have discussed about the reference books required. What should be the approach to cover this subject, and we have just started our technical discussion for the surveying, and I hope the entire discussion is clear to everyone. I hope the entire discussion from this class is clear to everyone. So the next class and the next chapter is going to be the chapter number 1. Sir, what about below the earth surface? Point may be anywhere. Point may be anywhere. That we will cover. If the point is having above the surface, you are going to use the term height. If the point is below the earth's surface, you are going to define that point with the help of the depth. Yes or no? So point may lie anywhere on the earth's surface, above the earth's surface, or below the earth's surface, and that we need to do. That is the part of the discussion, that you need to define the point. So I hope you enjoyed the session, or now you are having some basic understanding about this subject, surveying. Yes or no? So we are going to connect at 9:30. Everyone do join the class, and in the next class we are going to start chapter number 1, and in that we will discuss about the fundamental of surveying. We will discuss about the fundamental of surveying in the next class. The class will start at 9:30 p.m. So everyone do join the class on the time. Everyone do join the class on the time. और ये notes आपको मिल जाएंगे, तो don't worry for that. So this was all about for this session. Thank you everyone. Keep learning better. Thank you.